I'm Christine Stavropoulos.
Κι εγώ, ο Νίκος Σαμίδης.
Maybe you were born in Athens. Or maybe you're Yawels.
Ίσως μεγάλωσες μιλώντας ελληνικά. Ή ίσως είσαι το ξαδελφάκι που φεύγει για Ντουμπάι για δουλειά για 1 χρόνο μόνο.
Wherever you are in the world, if Greece lives in your heart.
Αυτό το ταξίδι είναι για σένα. Φύγαμε.
This podcast brought to you by Natasha Karamiho, your trusted legal voice in Greece for all your legal matters, and Helco Consulting, trusted services for all business and investments in Greece.
Orthodoxy has been one of the main pillars of Hellenism. It has helped preserve language, culture, especially during periods of foreign occupation. That's what we're going to talk about today, Nico. It's a huge and diverse topic.
Welcome, everybody, in another episode of the Greek Podyssey. I don't think it's diverse and controversial because there are two things now that we will explore. The one is the change of religion and the continuity of Hellenism. So those two things are two different separate things. Did Christianity kill the ancient religion? Yes, it did. Everyone converted to Christianity. But did Christianity contribute to the continuity of Hellenism? Yes, it did. So that's
the contradiction, isn't it?
Yes.
It ended, some people maintain that it did end Hellenism in its old form, some might say in its pure sense, that evolved around nature, the elements of nature, the gods, philosophy. But could Hellenism have been sustained if we continued on the ancient religion to modern day Greece? I believe it would have been a huge challenge.
So let's say that everything didn't happen from one day to the other, from one night to the other night. It took from the 4th century till the 6th century, there were a lot of changes. So yes, there were ancient temples that been destroyed or be transformed to Christian churches. Yes, it is true. There are some schools that be closed down, some philosophy schools that been closed down. Yes, it is true. But there are some also evidence and facts that saying that many of the Christians that try to spread the Christianity, they use philosophers as Aristotle and Plato to approach that method to spread the Christianity across.
And it was a struggle for people to accept it, to transition from the old natural religion of Hellenism at the time to transition to Orthodoxy, Christianity. It didn't just happen.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It took over 200 years for this to happen. So it wasn't just from one night to the other. And but let's not forget that Christianity really helped Hellenism, as you said, especially when we were under foreign occupation. I think there are some things when you put on a liber,
yes,
that you can say the Hellenism lost a few things, but also gained some others.
And preserved it.
Preserved some others.
It almost crossed over from a religion in its pure sense to being a cultural identity. Religion was used, the churches for asylum, for people to hide in, to practice language, to preserve language. Because as you said earlier, while we were having a discussion, Greek became the language of scriptures.
Yes, correct. The New Testimony was in Greek. Also, St. Paul was teaching in Greek and others. So the Greek language survived at the Ottoman era, the Roman era, and let's say the Byzantine era through the Christianity, the scriptures, and the teachings.
Well, one may ask the question, had it not been for Christianity, where would culture be and language be today? How would it have retained itself through the millennium up to where we are today if it wasn't based around Christianity and the texts that were preserved and the culture and the language that was preserved through 400 years of foreign occupation.
I'll go before that, and I'll say that it's sometimes when I'm thinking of all that, I question myself, and I said, if Christianity wasn't there, what would have happened to the ancient way of Hellenism, the Dodekatheismos, as we say it, because the name Hellene at that period mean idololatris, but through the religion, the Christianity, that changed. So it's a bit of a conflict. But for me, the point of this podcast is not to dig in if Christianity killed Hellenism, which is a separate topic.
It's a separate topic.
It's a separate topic.
It's another topic to
but
unpack.
how Christianity helped the preservation of Hellenism?
I think if it didn't exist, in my imagination, if we had continued to be I'll get you on a hard English word later. I'm picturing a Sodom and Gomorrah type civilization where there was no taxi, no structure.
Whereabouts?
When they worshipped idols and no? Why?
It was very well structured. It wasn't Sodom and Gomorrah.
That's probably a bad example.
It's not
watching
Sodom.
too many movies.
It was very well structured. It wasn't something like that.
But what were the dogmas back then? What were there, like religion for me?
There were no dogmas.
That's what I mean. Religion is a dogma. It sets guidelines. It sets rules. You abide by whatever the 10 Commandments are. So it puts values. How did those values, did they exist before organized religion? We moved from a pagan religion to a more structured religion according to texts.
Yes.
There were the gods that were Zeus, Athena, Apollo, Artemis, Poseidon, etc., etc., etc. So there were rituals that were performed to honor each god.
Yes.
Pagan rituals.
Yes, correct.
One may say that we still have pagan rituals in our religion.
And why is that?
When in a Greek Orthodox Church, the dance of Isaiah, that is a ritual, is it?
Yeah, but it's not paganist. It's when you're christening a child, because it happened to me recently, you do the same thing 3 times.
You do.
You do the same thing, but not
that's
paganist.
a ritual, though. But what makes
it's not paganistic.
Define
you
paganism.
have to stop on the 3 side of the cross.
Yes.
So that's what you're doing.
It's a ritual, though.
Yeah, but the ritual doesn't mean paganistic.
To me, any ritual has an element of paganism attached to it.
So I won't get into that because, as I said, it's a separate topic by itself. But what I want to focus on today is how Orthodoxy, Christianity, influenced Hellenism. In which ways? How it helped to preserve Hellenism.
Some of the things that the Orthodox Church preserved: Greek philosophy, classical manuscripts, ancient education, Roman law adapted in Byzantium, because the ancient Greeks, they often overlook the 1,000-year Byzantine Empire. So religion helped preserve that era. And also iconography, architecture, Greek art, that was all encompassed in Christianity.
Okay, how Orthodoxy helped on preservations of the Greek identity. So after the fall of Constantinople on 1453, churches became a cultural place where Greek language, traditions, and all that continue to exist after the fall of the Constantinople under the Ottoman Empire. So that's one.
But the other good thing it did give us the traditions that I just outlined, because not everybody is religious, but through these traditions, they still maintain a connection to the Greek traditions and Greek culture. If it wasn't for religion and having all these holy days and festivals and yortes and panigiria, the people that are non-religious would have nothing to connect to, not language, not anything. These things, the festivals that we have, the weddings, the baptisms, the funerals, it still exposes even non-religious people to elements of their Greek identity.
I think that Orthodoxy shaped the Greek civilization, if I can say so, after the Byzantine era and after. So we have incredible arts, we have icons, some amazing art is happening there when they're creating art for the icons. We have music, so iconography, sacred music. As you said, the religious festivals. On that part, artistically, Orthodoxy helped the preservation of the Greek art.
Let's not forget the importance of churches and religion in the diaspora, where migrants immigrated to all corners of the earth. There was a church, and the church traditionally is where people congregated. Their religion is what drew them together to meet people.
So it wasn't just a church, it was a cultural
It was
hub.
a hub, exactly.
Yes, where the language, traditions keep going there and preserving what is Hellenism now.
And people that, let's call them historians, that want to trace Greek societies in remote areas, the first place they look for is a church. Because where there is a Greek Orthodox Church is where you're going to find Greek people congregating. We all going through high school, I don't know if they still do it. Through school, we had religious studies. We used to have someone from the Greek church that would come and give us scripture lessons. So for kids such as myself that were born from migrant parents, it was an opportunity to listen to our Greek language spoken in the classroom.
Yeah. Do you think that philosophy was lost after the transition to Orthodoxy, to
No.
Christianity? No, I don't think so, because Christian scholars adopted many philosophical concepts that, as I said before, developed by great philosophers, Aristotle or Plato. And I think it helped in a way to continue to pass on to the next generations. And as I said, I'm not sure how this will have continued if there wasn't any change of religion. What do you think? That Hellenism should be like, we're still in Greece gonna have 12 gods and pray to statues
No, because the world around it evolved. The minute you have structured religions that emerged around other cultures, see, for me, religion is an organized, structured organization. And it serves two purposes. One, to retain culture, language, identity, and another to, I don't know if control is the right word, to have a following, to have a leader, so then you have access to mass populations where you can preach whatever you want to preach to. You can actually influence people through your teachings for good or for bad. And we see that happening around the world. And we're talking generally about religion. I'm not talking about Orthodoxy or Christianity. Just generally, religion is a way to also control people according to who is giving the scriptures, where they're slanting the information.
I don't think controlling is the right
guiding them to
word.
where you want them.
Guide,
Yeah,
yes.
but they're not
then
necessarily
it's-
always guiding them in the right.
Yeah, but that's
direction.
not controlling.
It's extremism.
That's a different thing. And I think it happens to who, it depends to who's teaching.
Exactly.
And who's transcribing from the scripts.
Because even within our religion, we have schisms where you have breakaways, and they break away from the main institution of the church. They start their own little schism, and then you've got fragmented communities.
Yeah.
So do you think that's a good thing, a bad thing, or indifferent?
Kizwa, I don't think it's a good thing.
I think a schism is someone that really has their own self-interest, that wants to polarize themselves,
I'm better
separate.
than you. I'm doing things
Well,
better.
I want to do
I'm doing
something.
things better than you, or
I want to control things more.
I'm the chosen one and not you. We do the things right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't agree with that. But for me, God has a different appearance in my soul.
When it comes to investments and business opportunities, you need more than promises. You need experience that delivers. You need people you can trust. Helco Consulting provides strategic partnerships, clear methods, and services with a strong presence in Greece. Helco Consulting, your trusted consultants in Greece.
When legal matters affect your business or life, you need guidance you can trust. Natasha Karamihu provides expert legal advice, protecting your interests and navigating every challenge. Natasha Karamihu, your trusted legal voice in Greece.
What does God mean to you?
That's another story. We can talk about that.
No, we can talk about it now.
No,
You can
we
ask
talk
me.
about Christianity now.
Well,
we
no,
don't
God
talk
comes
about
and,
God.
God is under Christian.
No, God is everywhere. It's not only Christianity. It's not only a Christian
Yeah, but you've
thing.
got to believe in God to say that. Some people think it's a mystical person up in the sky. Not everybody believes in God.
Yeah, I agree with that, but not he's a
There's
guy in the
millions,
sky.
populate. Look at countries that are atheist or.
Yeah.
But I think God means different things to different people. Religion means different things to different people. Church means different things to different people. Depends how you see your faith.
Let's say about the importance of the church and the independence of Greece from the Ottoman Empire. Then again, the church, it was a major component of this revolution. It was. So through the Orthodoxy and Christianity, we might have lost some of the ancient things that we used to have, but we managed to go through all these years, all these centuries, and maintain our identity.
We've managed to retain the historical period and talk about that, the ancient times. It's not wiped away. It's not forgotten. It's there. And we've managed to merge it with Christianity, which played a vital role in retaining our language, like we said. The other thing it did, having faith and making somebody, during the hardest times of war, of occupation, of hunger, if you have something that you can put your faith into, it gives you strength, it gives you hope. And those two things, strength and hope, were vital in survival.
I'm very happy for people when I'm hearing that I believe to God, because not they believe to God, because they got something to hang on from.
Yes.
And that's very important. It gives, as you said, hope.
Hope is the last thing we lose.
It gives, exactly. So for me, it's perfectly fine. I'm not judging anyone. Everyone has his own opinions.
Everyone has their own beliefs.
And all beliefs, if you believe that Christianity, paganism is better for you, and you feel safe and you find the questions of your life there, then go for paganism, go for Hinduism, go for whatever
human
you
nature
want.
needs a divine entity to draw strength from when they need it. When you've suffered tragedy, you want to know that you're going to draw your strength from some greater creator or force or power, because it empowers you, it gives you hope. If you don't have that, what are you going to say? Look, I believe in this head here. This head is beautiful. It's a sculpture, and this is going to give me strength. It doesn't do it for me.
Well, everyone is atheist till the plane starts to fall.
Yes.
Then everyone says,
100%. Exactly. And even with atheists, I've even heard them say, "Oh God." Why?
Yeah.
You don't believe in God, but
because
you're saying, "Oh God."
Yeah.
It's an expression.
Let's go to now, Christine. How important religion, Christianity, and Orthodoxy is? How important it is nowadays for our families, for our society?
For I can only speak on my family. To me, it's very important. It grounds us. It unites us. Have faith in moments of difficulty. I think that for me is the most important aspect of difficult moments, and we all live through difficult moments, your faith is what gets you through. And your faith mine is in God. And because I've experienced it, I have literally seen it. And I'll tell you a story which strengthens my faith because it materialized in front of me. I was praying. I was in Lesbos, Agios Raphael, the monastery there, which I make it a mission to get there every time I go to Greece. If I'm able to, I really try. So I was there at the crypt of Agios Raphael, and I was holding in my left hand 5 candles. And I would take a candle, light it, say a prayer, and put it in the sand. And I was going through each candle. Then I said, please, Saint Raphael, show me a sign that you're hearing my prayers. And every time I say this, I get really emotional. When I went to take the last candle, it was lit. And I get goosebumps and teary. That for me, not that I needed proof, because faith means you don't need proof. But it was such a moment where it was so emotional for me. I said, please, are you listening to my prayers? And that last candle in my hand was lit. I didn't have to light it and put it in the sand. I just put it straight into the sand.
Okay.
So for me,
That's
and
weird.
lots of people.
That's creepy.
It's not weird or creepy. For me, it was a very sacred moment of faith.
okay. Yeah.
And there are countless stories like that. I was at a lecture, one of the top scientists in the world, and I'll even mention her name, Professor Vaso Apostolopoulos. She said they've had situations where a cancer patient, stage 4, not expected to live. Medical profession cannot do any more for this person. And she said that we scanned that person a couple of days later and they are totally cancer-free, unexplained. And they say an act of God. And even when you
Are they using that term?
act of God, that's the term the doctors use, act of God. And you know that some terminally ill patients, doctors say only an act of God can save you. Even the medical profession uses that term.
Mm-hmm.
So this actually prompted this professor to now study theology because she has experienced that the medical fraternity cannot explain how this person was terminal and now they are cancer-free. And those sorts of stories also give inspiration and strength to people going through life struggles, either their own or a loved one. And that faith is the last thing that they have to cling to. And that's why I feel it's very important.
You know what bothers me? When people refer to God when only they ask help. That really bothers me because it's like I'm having the magic cards, which I'll take it off now and I'll use it.
No, that doesn't bother
For me, that's a use. You use God whenever you need it. You don't have the God in your heart every day, every time. How often do you go to the church? You go every Sunday?
No, but then some of the worst people that I know go to church every Sunday. That doesn't make them good people. Faith.
Come on, don't defend yourself.
No.
What I want to say, why I'm asking, because yes, you don't have to go to the church every Sunday. If you have the God in your heart and in your mind, in your spirit, you don't have to go every Sunday. Do you pray? How often do you pray? Do you open up to God? Do you ask for guidance every day? For me, there is no bad Christian and a good Christian. As you said, there are people that are going every Sunday to the church and are the worst people I've ever met. I know that. I have experienced that. For me, the most important thing is, does God lives in you, in your heart? Now you can...
Okay, when you just touch on good Christians and bad Christians. Christian is be a label, right? You can say, I'm a Christian because you were baptized Christian, but you've never, ever, ever abided by living like a Christian. You know, you've stolen, you've murdered, you've this. Okay, what you said earlier, people that only ask, they say, please God. For me, it depends what it is. If it's in an hour of need where you've had an epiphany or a moment of awakening where you really want to draw on your faith, I see that as a spiritual awakening. If you say, please God, I want to win lotto because I want to buy a new car, or please God, you're feeling that to me is fake.
Sorry, you can't call it spiritual awakening the time you're asking a favor from
It's
God.
not a favor. I'm not saying a favor. If you've never been a believer of God and suddenly you're in a dire of, and I always relate these situations to health. Okay, that's where someone so all of a sudden thinks, "Please God." They think only God can save me, and that is where their faith kicks in, because they really need that faith and that hope to cling to. That to me is someone that has found God at that moment. Someone though,
No.
that's,
Sorry, I'll disagree.
You
They
disagree?
don't find God at that moment.
Yes.
They're asking for a favor, for a help
No, I don't
at that
agree.
moment.
Because
And
if you don't believe in God, you're not going to ask anything of God. The people that take advantage of that as though they're asking Santa Claus for a gift, they're the ones that want it for trivial material things. Oh, please God, I really want
can
that
I have
house.
a Jaguar?
Yes.
Can I have a Porsche?
Yes.
No, come on now. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about people that they're touching God only when they are in need.
But how do you know that that's not the moment they find God at that
No,
moment?
that's not the moment you find God.
When
That's the
is?
moment
Okay,
you're
when?
asking favors from
when
God.
you don't have to, you
Your
don't.
everyday behavior, your everyday acts, that's God.
I know lots of people that are exemplary human beings. They donate, they feed the poor, they do everything right, but they're not religious and they don't believe in God. Does that make them a bad person?
Well, I want to separate something.
What?
The difference between religion and God. If
Yeah.
you want to find God, you need to lose your religion.
I agree.
That's my motto.
Well, I always said religion is a dogma.
So, dogma, all religions are dogma.
Yeah.
Dogmas are everywhere.
And religion
But-
has little to do with faith.
But you have to find God. And if you find God through Christianity, because that's the topic today, the Orthodoxy, then it's a good way to keep it. But please, don't remember God only when you are in need.
But nobody can tell or say when someone finds God. You can go to church every day, every week, whatever, but you find God at a certain point in your life, and it's usually during a crisis or it's usually during a crisis where you really draw on that because you're drawing on your faith in God, or you start really reaching out to God. It's usually when you need it the most. It's not, oh, okay, they might pray, they might do all those things, but it's not really felt. They're going through the motions of that, but they don't really connect with God. And I've seen a lot of people until they really need, in that most crisis moment of their life. And that's when they're hoping for a miracle. They're hoping for God to reach out. And that's when they really find God. That's my...
Okay, imagine that you haven't seen me for 10 years. And I'm coming to you and I say, Christine, please, I need $10,000. Are you going to give it to me? How that looks to you. Not are you going to give it. How that looks to you.
That's not a good analogy.
No, it's a very good analogy. I know people that they never talk about God. And when they're in a difficult situation, they call
Look,
God.
As a person, I've been known to do that.
What do you mean? To give money?
Yes.
Yes, I know.
I have done that.
I know. You're a good girl.
But I know too.
Okay, I'll make you a question.
Yeah.
Another question. On Easter Day, what time you go to the church? Be real, because I know.
11.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Why you say no?
Because I know that this year you went quarter to 12 or
No, I
20 to
didn't.
12. Yes, come
I
on.
went at 11. I went to Hagia Sophia και τις τρεις κόρες της. It was beautiful because I just love the serenity. I love
Hagia Sophia at Center.
Burke Street.
That's beautiful church.
Because you know what? I can just walk straight in. There's no crowds. It's my time. It's my spiritual peace. And I can smell the levain and listen to the chants. For me, it's a beautiful,
Are you
beautiful
going
moment.
during the Holy Week?
I go. Look, I'm not going to lie. I don't go to all of them. I don't. But does that make me a bad person, Nick?
No.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't mean that my faith
No.
is defined by how many times I go to church.
I agree with you. Don't get offended.
No, I don't. But there's some of the hypocrites we come across that, they put that thing on, they go to church, and you think
Starts, for what
they're
the other's
nasty.
wearing.
They're just
yeah.
not necessarily in church, but in
Well,
day-to-day life. I think,
yeah.
hold on, I know what you do. So now you're trying to do what? Save your soul or give the illusion to everybody that, look what a good, Yinikulai.
Yeah, and you know what? I think that kind of thing is pushing away people from the church,
does.
and also the behavior of some of the leaders of the church. But that's another topic that
I
we
think
can
moving
discuss.
forward, having the
Accountability,
young
accountability.
theologians, that they're able to reach out more to the younger generations and give them spiritual guidance and be open and not judgmental. I think that plays a big role in keeping people to the church as well. And there's the philanthropy element of the church, where it's a hub for feeding the poor, which a lot of churches do that. They have charity drives and people actually go there. And I was out with a couple of girlfriends last week, and they said, oh, we were out feeding the poor tonight, and they put on their big parkas and they were handing out food. So I think that is the good element of church, to love your fellow man and to know and to appreciate how lucky you are that you've got your health, first and foremost. You've got a bed to sleep in, food on the table.
I'll say thank you
And you say,
every day.
"Thank God."
Every
And
day.
for,
When I'm waking up in the morning, I'm saying thank
me
you.
too, because nothing is a given.
I'm saying thank you. And we have to be thankful of what we've got. Yes,
You do. So
exactly.
when you're thankful, when you thank, who are you thanking? When we wake up, when we have our health and we wake up every morning, and we're going to live another day. If you're going to thank, and if you don't believe in God, who are you thanking? Or you're just taking it for granted? Because
No,
that
there are
means
some
then
people that not.
some people just take that for granted.
Yeah, exactly.
I take nothing for granted because nothing is a given in life.
Let's get back to where we start from.
So we can end
so
up-
we can end up.
wind
I
it
think
up.
it's a good idea. So Christianity and Orthodoxy did help the preservation of the Hellenism through art, identity, language, traditions, and all that. And I think it's one of the biggest components of our identity.
Before we finish, I want to ask you another question.
There you go.
Always have one last question. Do
More.
you believe in the separation of church and country, government?
Yes.
Because the Greek Orthodox Church was very much part of government as
No.
well. I don't mean part of the government, but they influenced a lot of they had a big say.
I think the order is the state, the church, and then the army. That's the order on our constitution.
Okay.
I think church coming second, but it's big component. And I'm not talking about structure now of the nation. I'm talking about of identity. I can't think Greek identity without Orthodoxy.
Do you think with the mass migration in Greece at the moment, our religion plays a major role in retaining our identity in times when we're not really, there's an influx of different religions, different people? Do you think our retaining our religion and orthodoxy plays a main role now just as much as it did in the
Oh,
past?
yeah, 100%. 100%. You have to answer this question based on what you witnessed here in Australia.
Tell me.
I mean, multiculturalism.
Oh, that's another
culturalism.
topic, Nicholas,
No,
next
no.
week's topic.
Sorry. No. What?
Look, Australia, you can't talk about Australia and Greece in the same breath.
Yeah, exactly, because
We're a very
yes,
young country,
yes.
less than 300 years old, built 100% on migration. So we, by nature, have to be a secular country.
But yeah, okay, that's another topic. We need to get into it. And
we can't
will,
impose a
we will.
culture on people because we are built a
But
country
culture,
of many cultures.
yeah, but culture,
What governs us equally is the law of the land.
religion is one of the biggest components in multiculturalism. I can't say this word.
I love it when you can't say
Multiculturalism.
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 You did well.
Okay, thank you.
Anyway, can we leave that for another? That's another.
Yes,
That's a whole. That's
I
next
think
week's.
no. I want to say that religion is the
Yeah.
biggest component, and that's why it's failed. Anyway, we'll give you a few tips.
No, it hasn't failed. We're
We'll
going to have
give
the
you-
discussion. It hasn't failed. All right? It hasn't
So
failed.
you can imagine what's the next episode about.
Yes.
Get ready. I'll bring Pauline here.
Oh, God. I'd love to have her sitting right next to
Oh
you
my God.
and debate her. I would love that. Anyway, and I think we could. That could be a subscription program. People would pay.
It will be
Subscribers
for our
for-
subscribers.
Anyway,
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to us, watching to us. And let's keep our faith is strong, no matter your religion. Faith is very important. And let's keep...
And culture and identity.
Culture.
Thank
and
you.
Identity. Thank
Bye.
you very much. Bye-bye.
This podcast brought to you by Natasha Karamiho, your trusted legal voice in Greece for all your legal matters, and Helco Consulting, trusted services for all business and investments in Greece.
I'm Christine Stavropoulos,
Κι εγώ ο Νίκος Σαμίδης. Και αυτό είναι το Greek Podyssey, το podcast της Ομογένειας.
a